Hey guys, it's Sherry. So today I decided to do a Japanese lesson. Jasmine and I were just talking the other day and made me realize that there were some Japanese phrases that just cannot be translated in English. So today I picked 10 Japanese phrases that we use daily but kind of hard to explain what it means in English. If you like this kind of Japanese lesson videos, please give me a thumbs up, and if you have any particular Japanese questions, comments, leave them down in the comment section, and yeah, let's get started. Number 1, すいません. すいません. If you look up this word, maybe you see it すみません, not すいません. I think the correct Japanese is すみません, but we tend to use that for just writing, and then when we say it, we just say すいません because すみません is hard to say it. I think you know this word as excuse me, but actually すいません contains more than that. Yes, we use for excuse me, but sometimes we use it for I'm sorry. I know I'm sorry, the direct translation is ごめんなさい. Like little kids use ごめんね to apologize to each other, but when we grow up, we don't really use the word ごめんなさい. We just use it すいません for everything. And on top of that, we use すいません when we want to say thank you. This is kind of tricky because like sometimes you kind of have to say ありがとう or ありがとうございます when you want to say thank you, but maybe like 80% of the time when you say thank you in English, in Japanese translation it would be すいません. Like when somebody hold a door for you, you don't really say ありがとうございます. We say すいません. Or like when somebody like hold a button for the elevator so that you can like, get in, and you say すいません. Like everything is すいません. But when somebody give you like a birthday present or something, you don't say すいません for that. We say ありがとう. Right? So it's a little tricky, but すいません could be excuse me, I'm sorry, and thank you. Number 2, お世話になります. お世話になります. I think this is something that Jasmine pointed out. I don't know if I included that into the last video, but Jasmine said she speaks Japanese fluently, she can read and write and everything, but she was confused at the beginning because whenever she exchanged emails with like companies and stuff, every time they send an email starting with お世話になります, and then she's like, what お世話になります, what is that? So this is kind of like a greeting, you know, like for you guys, you say how are you every time, like hey, how are you? Hey, what's up? And stuff like that. And we don't have that in Japanese. Yeah, direct translation is お元気ですか? But we never ever say お元気ですか? It's just like super weird. On a side note, I was in Hawaii for like a year, and one of my close friends, he was taking a Japanese class, and he insists of using お元気ですか every single morning to me, and I was like, please stop, it's just like so weird. So like, I always like say like, hi, 元気です, but like, I'm like, no, I don't know. But anyway, so we don't say お元気ですか, but you guys say, how are you, right? Doesn't really mean anything. It's just like something that you start the conversation with. So お世話になります is the formal version of that. So whenever you talk with somebody, something about business related, you just start with お世話になります. Number 3, お疲れ様です. お疲れ様です. お疲れ様です is like, you did a great job today kind of thing. The other things that we don't really say in Japan is sayonara. And sayonara is like goodbye and see you in English. But we don't say sayonara to anybody. Like if it's like a friends, we say like bye. We don't say bye. Bye bye. It's like bye bye, じゃあね, またね. For your boss or something, we say お疲れ様 instead of saying bye. お疲れ様 kind of shows the respect to your boss. So like, thank you for doing all the work for us. When we go home, we just say like, お疲れ様です、お疲れ様でした. And then that means kind of like goodbye. Number 4, よろしくお願いします. よろしくお願いします. よろしくお願いします is useful phrase because you can use it to anyone and everywhere. So for example, you have an important meeting with another company, and then you meet them for the first time, and then you start with, you kind of exchange your business card and then like chit chat and something like that. And then before we get into business talk, you can say yoroshiku onegai shimasu. It's kind of like nice to meet you, or like I'm happy to work with you. Or I had a question from one of my students' mother. She drops her son off at the daycare. It's like an international kindergarten. So she wants to say yoroshiku onegai shimasu to the teacher, but there's no translation for that. So I was like, but anyway, I had to tell the mother something. So I was like, well, maybe it's not like yoroshiku onegai shimasu, but kind of like have fun, you too have fun, or have a good day kind of thing. But yeah, so you can use yoroshiku onegai shimasu for that. And also, you can use that within your email. So you start with osewa ni narimasu, right? And then you write email. And at the end, you can finish with よろしくお願いします。Number 5, いただきます。ごちそうさまでした。I think you guys already know that, but before we eat, we say いただきます。It's kind of like you appreciate the food, cook, the fisherman, farmer, and like just everything. And I think I'm gonna make a separate video about like manners and everything, but we tend to wait until everyone is settled at the table, and then we say いただきます together and then eat. And then even if you finish early, you don't like stand up and then do your thing. You just kind of like wait until everybody's done, and then when everyone is done, you say ごちそうさま or ごちそうさまでした. Kind of like a thank you for the meal kind of thing. Number 6, 失礼します。お邪魔します。失礼します、お邪魔します are both almost the same thing. 失礼します you can use it within emails. Like, sorry for suddenly emailing you. And you can say 失礼します。なんか突然のメール失礼します。So, that time, it means like sorry. Sorry for bothering you. But other than that, 失礼します and お邪魔します are used when you enter somebody's home or somebody's office. So when you going through a doorway, you kind of like bow a little bit and then say 失礼します or like お邪魔します. And then when you're done with the meeting or whatever it is, you say 失礼しました お邪魔しました. Number 7, しょうがない仕方がない. しょうがない is more like casual way of saying it, and the 仕方がない is kind of like writing word. And I remember Rachel and June were making the Shogunai video, I don't know, a couple years back. And then I watched that video. I was like, oh my god, yeah, right. Like, we don't have Shogunai in English. But anyway, Shogunai is something like, you can't help it. Like, this is what it is. So you have to accept that reality, accept that fact. And just, there's nothing you can do. So it's kind of like giving up, but without blaming yourself. Yeah. Like if you say like しょうがない or 仕方がない and it sounds like you're giving up. It's not a good word. It's not a good thing to say. But sometimes, no matter how much you try, just しょうがない. Number 8, いらっしゃいませ. いらっしゃいませ. If you're just traveling Japan, or if you are not working at the restaurant or convenience store or those places, and you probably never gonna use this word いらっしゃいませ, but you probably hear that very often because you go shopping. And in Japan, we learn いらっしゃいませ is may I help you? But I never heard anybody say may I help you in the States. Maybe Americans are very friendly. It's like I go into the store, it's like, oh, hi, how are you? Maybe they say, can I help you? Or how can I help you? Or something. But I've never met anybody who said, may I help you to me. Yeah, anyway, that story aside, Irisshaimase is a little different from may I help you or can I help you? Because when the staff asks you, how can I help you? You respond to that question, right? But Irisshaimase, you just ignore. I know, it's just weird. But it's just, Irisshaimase is something that you just like, I don't know, you don't even pay attention to. So you walk into the convenience store and then staff say, Irisshaimase, Irisshaimase. And then like, I don't want to be rude, so like I kind of like lightly bow or like smile a little bit. But I think I started doing that after coming back from the States because I just I don't know why, but like I felt bad that I don't say anything or I don't even make eye contact with them. And by the way, Japanese people don't make eye contact, so that's another thing. So like I can't really like directly look at them because then they will be frightened by that. But I can't say hello to them. Like I can't say konnichiwa. That would be weird. And of course, you don't say irashaimase and then irashaimase back. Number 9, 行ってきます。行ってらっしゃい。ただいま。おかえり。This is probably the easy one as well. 行ってきます is the greeting when you leave the house. So bye in English. 行ってらっしゃい is saying bye to the person who's leaving. And when you're back from school, you say ただいま and then your mom says おかえり. Number 10, 頑張って. 頑張って. 頑張って is something that I have been struggling with how to translate into English. It's just really, really difficult. It depends on the situation. It could be very different. It's kind of like a Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. But this is something that we always say to each other. Like a mother say to her child, saying like, oh, 頑張って on your test. Like English lesson, 頑張ろうね. Or something like that. 頑張る is like, it's kind of like a hard work. You work on something very, very hard. That's like 頑張る. So yeah, those are 10 phrases that exist in Japanese, but not so much in English. I hope it was helpful. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up again. And if there's any other things that you want me to talk about, because like, you know, I'm Japanese, so I can talk about Japan stuff. Sometimes I make mistakes in Japanese too. Anyway, so if you have any topics that you want to talk about, leave them in the comment section and I will see you again soon.